A clan. A clan is a unilineal kinship group whose members believe they are descended from a common ancestor, but who cannot trace the link through known relatives or blood relatives. A clan has the ancient relative that is made up, a totem, if you will. It can be a tree, it can be an alligator, it can be a mountain, it can be a cloud. What it is not that important as much as what it is stands for. Because what it is stands for, our identity as a clan, as a connection. We assign clans, of course, to totems like this lower picture here to the right, the totem poles of Northwest North America. But if you look, California has a totem. It's a grizzly bear. We fly a flag. We're not a clan, we're a state. But again, we are following the same types of dynamics to provide the same types of functions, just on a larger scale. Clan, a descent group consisting of two or more lineages that trace their origin to a mythical ancestor. Clan identification is often reinforced by totems. A phratry, a group of two or more clans that have a tie to one another, often based on historical relationship. Obligations and rights are expected between clans in this relationship. A moiety, an association that divides a society in half. Moiety affiliation is inherited unilineally and carries obligations to other members. Segmented lineages, a descent group consisting of some sublineage sets, such as this picture here. A lineage has segmented sublineages from when lineages get too large. Some members move and establish some lineages. They can still name ancestors back to 5 generations. And this is the difference between the ideal and then the real. Voluntary association group. Members of these groups fulfill some of the support, usually provided by kinship groups. It is commonly observed in large industrialized societies where kin group fragmentation often results from the mobility of individuals. Anthropologists use the term sodality for association groups that cross-cut an entire society whose membership is based on common interests rather than kinship or residence. So voluntary association groups would be like clubs on campus. Different organizations you may or may not belong to. Sodality groups would be like Democrat or Republican, something that spans the entire nation and brings people together under an ideology. You can ask yourself, what are some voluntary association groups that your nuclear family belongs to? What sodalities do they belong to? This will give you a better understanding of this section. Can you name one or more incidents where the group supplied a supporting role? Cross cousins, parallel cousins. Helpful understanding terminology of this system found in other countries. Consider these terms and categories perhaps come from a time when knowledge of genetic and biological knowledge was not widely known. These are categories of organization imposed by cultural value systems, from what is imagined. Consider most of what we will talk about concerning culture are enculturated value systems. Different kinship terminology is a window into understanding human creation and perpetuation of cultural value systems of organization, distribution, and belief systems. Kinship classification system. A system of kinship terms and the rules for using these terms. Every kinship classification system classes some relatives together and differentiates them from other relatives. Some systems have small number of kinship terms, others have a different term for almost every relative. And again, what we're looking at when we look at these terms, we're looking at how they serve that population with the type of economy they have and how they organize to fulfill their needs. Principles of classifying kin: by generation, by relative age, by lineal descent or collateral descent, by gender, by blood or marriage, consanguinal or affinal kin, sex of linking relative, cross cousins or parallel cousins, and which side of the family you are on. Ego. Ego is the person from whose perspective the chart is drawn and viewed. The ego is always portrayed with a square, or should be. If ego refers to his father and his father's brother by the same term, his relationship with them tends to be similar. If ego's father and father's brother are referred to in different terms, ego will likely act differently towards each of them, and they will act differently towards him. The relation and responsibilities change. The terminology reflects the responsibilities and connections. Terminological systems. Various systems of kin terms are found in world cultures. Inuit, Iroquois, Hawaiian, and Crow systems illustrate kin categories and cultural values. And while we know the Inuit is a group that lives up north, this organization system, this family organization system, is found all around the world. Of course, you'll see that it's very similar to our own. So these are names that cover more than just the Inuit, the Iroquois, Hawaiian, and Crow systems. The Inuit system. Yes, you'll recognize this. Here we have the nuclear family in the center. And there's the father, mother, the brother, the sister, and ego. And in this case, the father's brother is uncle, the father's mother is aunt, the mother's sister is aunt, and the mother's brother is uncle. Their offspring are your cousins. So yes, we're very aware of this. This is what we organize around. The Iroquois kinship. This is slightly different. We see that the nuclear family is the same, mother, father, brother, sister. But the father's brother is also called father. And the father's sister is called the father's sister. The father's brother has children, they're your brothers and sisters. The father's sister has children, they're your cousins. This goes the same with the mother's side, except for the mother's sister is your mother. Her offspring are your brothers and sisters. And the mother's brother is your mother's brother. And when he has offspring, children, they are your cousins. What you can see is a connection between what we would call aunts and uncles in the parental role in these children's lives. And the brothers and sisters are extended to take care of each other. Hawaiian kinship. Again, the nuclear family, father, mother, brother, sister is the same. The father's brother is the father. The mother's sister is the mother. The mother's brother is the father, and the father's sister is the mother. All your cousins, as we would call them, would be your brothers and sisters. This is the Hawaiian kinship. This shows very few different terms for the family groups, and it shows a more cohesive, connected set of responsibilities that everyone has towards everyone else in this society. Crow kinship. Again, the nuclear family, mother, father, sister, brother. The father's brother is the father. And the offspring of that father, or your uncle in our terms, would be your brothers and sisters. The mother's sister is your mother, and the offspring from that union will be your brothers and sisters. But your father's sister is called your father's sister. And her offspring Males would be your father, and females would be your father's sister. On the mother's side, the mother's sister is your mother. Her offspring would be your mother with your brother and sister. And the mother's brother would be your mother's brother, not your uncle. And they offspring from that would be your sons and daughters. Again, who's responsible for who in this organization, and who's related to who? Terms for concepts of mother and father in Western society: genetic mother, carrying mother, nurturing mother, the complete mother, the genetic, carrying, and nurturing mother. Then we also have the genetic carrying mother, the genetic nurturing mother, and the carrying nurturing mother. Genetic terms for father: genetic father, nurturing father, complete father. So the genetic mother, of course, would be those whose ovum are used. The carrying mother could be a different woman who's been implanted with the egg. Nurturing mother would be the woman that raises the children. So these are all different categories that we have now. Look and makeup of the American family has changed. You can look through this. This won't be on the test, but it's some ideas. As we come out of the past and begin to redefine our relationships together, certainly we have to redefine our relationships as family. We just read, how real is race? These kind of divisive terminologies that we've interjected into our society are to maintain a hierarchical dominance that is creating the violence that we live in. The more disparity the hierarchy brings, the greater the violence. This is an extra credit, and I have put an assignment up there so you can submit it. I would like you to do 5 generations of your family. And here we have the symbols: ego, female, male, marriage, divorce, deceased, adopted, siblings, the straight line across, descent, the straight line down, cohabitation. And so what you would do is this example down here on the right, even though it only has 4 generations, you don't have to put anybody's name. You are the square in the center. Then you would branch out from there for your parents, your brothers and sisters, your grandparents, your cousins, and so on. I'll give you a week from this Wednesday, a week from the 25th, to turn it in. The function of kinship systems are common to a wide variety of cultures. People are organized into groups. Behavioral expectations are dictated, and security is provided for group members. The North American system of bilateral descent groups, known as kindreds, is contrasted with unilineal descent groups known as patrilineages and matrilineages. The Inuit terminology pattern and the Iroquois terminology pattern illustrate how such systems dictate people's behavior towards their relatives.